I was hoping to get clarity out of my life while going to Ghana. I definitely wanted to get clarity. I think that I hit a quarter life crisis, and it was a fork in the road, and I went, what have I done with my life so far? Who am I? I want to reach out to people, and I went to just get clarity. Why am I really here? Why am I existing? Go back to the source of life, to which I came, so that I could find out where I'll go. The moment I arrived in Ghana, the first memory of my arrival is, what's that smell? It smells like smoke. Is there something burning? Something's on fire. And there was a gentleman, they all welcomed me off of the plane into the airport, and there was several guards, and I asked them, what's that smell? And they pointed to a huge pile of burning rubbish and said, oh, it's the fire. And I said, okay. Come to find out, they burn their trash. The whole country burns their trash. So it's just, there's a constant stench in the air of something burning. The roads were just red dirt roads. There was no streets. And that was, I remember going, wow, this is very interesting. There's no streets, there's no asphalt. Where's the asphalt? And it was just roads. I mean, red roads that people, and very bumpy, and people just kind of knew which way to go around. But it was very populated. There was a lot of people walking in front of the car, and we'd stop every once in a while. And I just kind of was looking around, taking it all in, remembering to breathe, because I felt at that point very, very away, very far away. The place that I was going to be teaching at was Kitty Care. It's called Kitty Care, and it's in Abercrombie, and Abercrombie is a village. It doesn't have a lot of running water. There's one pump per certain square footage in the village, and people go and they pump water every morning or every 5 days whenever they need it. A lot of the locals of Abercrombie live off of poly tanks, so when it rains, they collect their water, and that's their way of life. The water is kind of filtered through the poly tank, and most of the water is used for bathing or for cooking. This one. Mrs. Akwa is such a character. God bless her. She has so much energy. I don't know how she does it. She's got 5 daughters and 15 grandchildren, and she's got a couple of brothers and several uncles and cousins, and they're all around. Family is very, very important in Ghana. Family is very important. And, she had a dream to have a school, and she is serious about education. She has on one of the walls, education is everyone's business, and I really like that wall. It's a good wall for the school, because it's true. I mean, it takes a village to raise a child, and a child to raise a village. She gets that, so I get that. And her husband died several years ago, so she's been doing it on her own, and her grandmother, or her Mrs. Akwa's granddaughter, Lila, has been coming to stay with her when she's not in college, and she helps teach every once in a while. Mrs. Akwa, how long have you been head of Kitty Care?
How long?
Have you been the headmistress of Kitty Care?
Oh, more than 10 years, 12 years.
That's a long time.
Long time. The
Kitty Care sign in the front of the building is hilarious. It's got white students for one, and a white teacher. It's a picture of a white woman. She's got long blonde hair, and she's teaching, and she's got a chalk in hand and a blackboard behind her, and then there's some white children there, looking like they're clapping or something. They're really excited to learn, and it's a really good stock photo. It's a good stock photo. Kitty care.
Yeah.
Who's this lady in the picture, though? We don't know those people.
Oh, no, I don't know that. That man just made it.
We gotta take pictures of you teaching
okay.
with all the kids.
All right.
So, are these kids gonna run me down?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I need to keep up with my energy, though, don't I?
Not at all.
Okay, good. Because you have a lot of energy.
Yes.
It's a very strict school. She's got her rules and her regulations set, and it's somewhat private, and the kids have to bring their fees. Every morning they bring their own fees, and her hope is to get computers in there, and she really wants to have a whole library for these kids. I mean, she wants to just, her intention is so good, it's so great, it's golden. She wants these kids to flourish and to change the world, and she's got a lot of love, and she's enjoying spreading it, and it's a great joy to see, because she's got so much energy. It's amazing how much energy she has, more than me.
When it is here and it is coming down, it comes like this. Hands up. Watch me. Down. Sideways stretch. Down. Attention. Stand at it, moving your left leg. Bring your clothes for washing, bring them. Go and fetch water, you go. And some other things, you know it. So do it. Eh?
Yes, please.
Then next day to Saturday is when?
Sunday.
I can't hear you.
Sunday.
Caging.
Sunday.
Caging.
Sunday.
What do we do on Sunday? Again.
You go to church.
Please go to church on Sunday and listen to the word of God. Eh?
Yes, please.
Eh?
Yes, please.
Then on Monday at 7:30,
Yeah, in school.
you are in school. Come to school early. Eh?
Yes, please.
Ghana is extremely religious. Ghana is very religious. Ghana is about 90% Christian, and they're very devout Christians, and they go to church every Sunday. After a week of being there, we went to church, and then that evening we went to a church function, and it was actually really fun because we danced, in the dirt under the moon all throughout the night. Kitty Care has been there probably for about 10 years or so, and grades kindergarten through 6th grade. There's only a few students in grade 4 and maybe 1 or 2 in grade 5 and maybe a few in grade 6. Most of them were grades 2 and first, kindergarten, 1st grade, and 2nd grade. And the classes that I taught were primary education. I didn't really know who my class was. When I first got there, I just knew that I was going to be teaching primary education. So I had a mixture of 1st grade and 2nd grade combined in my class. And I think that they do that intentionally, especially when there's volunteers, because they want to utilize the volunteers as much as they can, and so they kind of condense the class. So I had a large class. I had when I first started, it went from about 18 to 19 to 20, 21, 22, 23. And that by the end I had 24 or 25 students, which is a lot, a lot to teach when you're by yourself. Okay, class, listen up. Read the board. What's my name? Good. No more, madame. Say it again. Auntie Emily. Good. One more time. Good. They had certain curriculums that they wanted me to follow, and some of the curriculum was the Christian studies, but I didn't know too much about the Christian studies, so I just kind of veered away from that, and I actually attempted to teach them about absolute and relative truth and what the difference is between the two. And that was really funny because they didn't quite grasp the concept, and I think that's when I realized I don't know if I'd be able to be a kindergarten teacher or a first grade teacher, because it's definitely fun and you're having a good time, but when it comes down to really wanting to talk about things that maybe have substance or interest in your life, they're just like, what? And they looked at me like, what?
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Good morning, Jesus. Good morning, Lord. 1, 2.
Good morning, Jesus. Good morning, Lord. Hello, you come from heaven and above. The Holy Spirit is on the throne. Good morning, Jesus. Good morning, Lord. I'm going to lay down my burden down by the riverside. I'm going to lay down my burden, my heavy burden down by the riverside. I'm going to lay down my burden down by the riverside. I'm going to lay down my burden, my heavy burden down by the riverside. I'm going to lay down my burden down by the riverside. I'm going to lay down my burden, my heavy burden down by the riverside. I'm going to lay down my burden down by the riverside. I'm going to lay down my burden, my heavy burden down by the riverside.
One of the games that I made sure that I taught them was rock, paper, scissors. Because rock, paper, scissors, to me, is the ultimate non-violence way of figuring things out and solving your own problems. So, the second day of class, I said, okay, yesterday, my first day, you guys kind of walked all over me. And I told them, I said, you guys, pinch and bite and steal and yell. And I said, I'm not going to have it in my classroom. This is why I'm known as the serious one. Because I said, I'm not going to have it. And, they're all coming up to me crying and stuff. And I'm like, we're here to learn. We're here to have a good time. I don't want to hear anyone crying. So I taught them rock, paper, scissors. And it turned out to be a brilliant idea. Because they not only got competitive with it, but they actually really listened. And they got excited about it. I said, if you guys can't, come to an agreement, if you can't share that red pencil or that black marker, play rock, paper, scissors, and then whoever wins gets it, it was just kind of came to me, and it was, I think, one of the most important, valuable tools that I taught that class, and hopefully, they'll remember. In 10 years, they'll still be using it, maybe. Charity gets a point. Next person wins. Hey, knock it off. No, Charity wins. Rock beats what? Rock beats scissors, right? Yeah? What beats a rock? What beats a rock? Paper. And what beats paper?
Scissors.
Good. Okay, good.
Rock, paper,
Tie.
rock, paper, scissors.
Tie.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Grace gets a point. Again. Grace wins. 2 out of 3. Grace wins. You won. Yay. Grace won. When after, I think it was about 3 weeks to, 3 weeks, just after 3 weeks I had been there. And a couple of the other white volunteers that I had met, we wanted to meet up and go kind of get away for the weekend. We had already been teaching, and we were just ready for our break. I mean, you know, we wanted to connect and hang out and relax and kind of get away and have a little vacation. So we went to Cocoa Beach. It took us half the day to get there because there's also a Cocoa Beach. So we took the wrong Trotros, which is the bus system, to another part of the country. And it took us about 2 hours out of the way, and then we had to pay like 40 Ghana cedis to get back to where we wanted to go, to Cocoa Beach. So when we finally got there, we were just really exhausted and wanted to have a good time and just kind of relax. So hung out by the bar and had a good time and spent the night. It ended up getting really cold. This was in January. So in January, sometimes it gets really cold, especially by the beach at night. And we had no sheets or anything like that. I didn't sleep a bit. So in the morning, we had a really good breakfast. I mean, we had real coffee for the first time in 3 weeks. We were so excited. This resort is geared for tourists. It's geared, and there were several white people there, several Abrunis. And we were just in our element, so we had a good time. We decided, okay, after breakfast, we're going to go for a walk. And, you know, as girls, I guess when girls get together, they start talking a lot. And 20 minutes go by, and we're walking, and we're talking, and then all of a sudden we're going, where are we, you know? And we're in some sort of village that is desolate, and there's poop everywhere, like human feces. I mean, there's rocks everywhere. And we kind of come to a standpoint where we start to realize it and smell it, and we're like, there's human feces everywhere. Where are we? And we were just in a really bad part of the beach. We had walked several miles. We were away from the village. And so we decided we'd start walking back. This is not good. And there was twice we looked over and made eye contact with a man sitting there going to the bathroom. Squatting on a rock, and he was actually going, and we felt very uncomfortable. So we decided to start walking back, and this all happened so fast. I don't really know how it happened. I can't even go back to the moment that I knew I was being attacked. But before I knew it, there was a man that was at me with a knife, and he was cutting my purse off of me. I had a tiny strap that went around my neck, over my shoulder, and he cut it off of me, and I fought him, and I was screaming, and we were all screaming, and it was just surreal. How is this happening? Why is this happening? Who are you? And I was so scared that I peed my pants, and I fell to the ground, and you know, it was interesting because he ran away, and then he had my purse, so I had to get my purse. So I told the other volunteer, Bree and Lucy. I was with Lucy and Bree, and I told Bree, I said, we got to get my purse. So we chased him, and we went up over the rocks, through some bushes, and up to some sort of plateau where there was a man standing there with my purse, and he held my purse for me, and he got it back for me. And before I knew it, this whole village of people were coming out of church or something. They had heard me screaming, and they beat him up really bad. And the guy gave me my purse back, and he said, you need to stay here. Is that the man that took your purse? And I looked over, and sure enough, he was there, this guy. And I said, yeah, that's him. And they just started beating him up, and he asked me to stay. And I looked down at my pinky, and it had been sliced, and I was bleeding everywhere. I had blood all over my shirt. I was pretty scared. I didn't really know what to do, and so I shouted, I love Ghana, and I took off running, and I did not look back. And so another maybe 10 minutes go by, 15 minutes, I finally ended back at the resort, and then we had to wrap me up, and I had to go to a hospital and get stitches, but it all happened so fast I didn't really know what happened, you know. I just knew that I was attacked, and I couldn't believe that happened. And I was soaking wet, and I was sweaty and stinky and shaking, and then the whole hospital experience and getting stitches was not a very good experience at all.
John Brown's body lies are modeling in the grave, but his soul goes marching on.
but his soul goes marching on.
Glory, glory, hallelujah.
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 But his soul goes marching on.
But his soul goes marching on.
John Brown's body lies harmony in the grave. 1, 2.
John Brown's body lies harmony in the grave.
John Brown's body lies harmony in the grave.
John Brown's body lies harmony in the grave.
Again. John Brown's body lies harmony in the grave.
John Brown's body lies harmony in the grave.
It's 2 times so. So if you don't learn the first one well, you get mixed up. And you spoil the whole song. John Brown's body lies harmony in the grave. That's the first one, eh? 2 times the first one. John Brown's body lies harmony in the grave. John Brown's body lies harmony in the grave. John Brown's body lies harmony in the grave.
On the final day of leaving Ghana, the children, it's interesting because I think the children were sad. They knew that it was coming. And I probably shouldn't have done this, but I threatened to leave a couple of times. I said, if you guys don't listen to me, I'm going back to America tomorrow. Is that what you want? And then they'd pipe down because they knew that I could possibly go. They were sad. The kids were sad. I was sad. I cried. The last day after leaving them, I went into my room and I cried.
John Brown's body lies harmony in the grave. John Brown's body lies harmony in the grave. But his soul goes marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. But his soul goes marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah.
When we say something, then
I'm gonna be sad. I'm leaving.
oh,
I don't really want to think about it. Today was a good day. We had fun actually. It was really fun. Let's get the goat. This is our friend. Zoom in on him. Can you zoom? There you go.
yeah, I think it's okay.
That's
There.
Mrs. Aqua's goat.
Yeah.
That's the one that keeps me up all night, going bah, bah, mom. All right, Daniel, you say hi. Let's flip it around like
It's
this.
finished?
It's finished?
Yeah.
There's nothing left? What about us? Oh, we're too zoomed in. Hold on.
It's not finished.
Wait. Maybe it's not finished.
Bye. That's
Bye,
the
Ghana.
end. Bye, Ghana.
Ghana.
See you next time. I think it's finished.
Yeah, it is. That's good.
The whole time I was there, I kept a journal. I kept an online journal. Every chance that I got to go to an internet, I would write something online for my friends and my family to read. But every night, just about, I wrote in a journal that I kept. Africa did not change my life, rather it shaped it. It appears my Ghanaian experience has turned out to be quite ascetic, as I have knowingly and purposely denied myself the essentials for an easy and comfortable life, by way of isolation, to clarify my aspirations. My spirituality has only recently been awakened, and I know that I'm connected, but I must keep the channel open, like the letter from Martha Graham addressed to Agnes DeMille. It states that there's a blessed unrest within all artists, and it is dissatisfaction. We must remember to keep the channel open. I now know that I do enjoy an empirical life. I truly believe that is the only way to live. I've not only seen parts of Africa, but I have tasted it, I've smelled it, I've felt it. And I will never forget the cocks crowing at 4 a.m., the baby goats crying out, the quick tongue of the locals, or the children. I'm reminded how adult I am. I'm reminded of how I've grown. I'm inspired to study what I love most all over again. I'm blessed to know how to pretend, how to create, unfold, and grow. I can't wait to watch a film and suspend my beliefs. I can hardly wait to step back into the stage. My life is in film, in performing arts, and I'm not only going to get back upon that horse, but I'll ride it all the way out to the red carpet, even if it's the last thing I do. I want an all-American burger. Top grade, sirloin, cheddar cheese, lettuce, tomato, and onion. And spicy mustard, lots of it. I need a couple of manicures now, and at least 3 pedicures. I have layers of filth. Oh, a full body scrub sounds good. Ooh, something invigorating like lemon or eucalyptus. There's gotta be a reasonable spa in New York. Safari, yeah.